Hey you guys, it's your girl T. So I want to come out here and talk about the whole Colin Kaepernick situation. This situation is getting crazy. A lot of other athletes are now weighing in. As we all know, a lot of people were really upset with Cam Newton last week when he was interviewed about the Colin Kaepernick situation. And Cam Newton was talking in circles and talking about, black people's skin being 1/8 thick. He made no sense whatsoever. And Stephen A. Smith literally ripped his head off and went in on Cam Newton. I want you guys to watch a snippet of Cam Newton's video. Check this out and I'm going to come back with the rest of my commentary.
Who am I to say that it's wrong? Who am I to say that it's right? Either or is still personal. What I can't, fathom is how does 1/8 of an inch, something so small, be the difference in such a big commodity in our whole lifetime? And that's the thickness of our skin, 1/8 of an inch. And under that, we're all the same color. Who am I to say, Colin, you're wrong?
Right.
And who am I to say, bro, that you're right? Because we all, we all have and are, have the right to think whatever we want to think. And I respect that by everybody.
All right, so you guys just saw what Cam Newton had to say. It was just utter foolishness. But now a lot of people are putting Shaquille O'Neal on the Uncle Tom list as well. Shaquille O'Neal recently sat down to talk to Fox News and discuss why Kaepernick should not be sitting during the national anthem. Shaquille O'Neal is not here for it, honey. Let me go ahead and play you guys a video. Check this out, and I'm going to come back with the rest of my commentary.
What do you think about that, Shaq? You heard Heather's last story.
I mean, to each his own. It's something I wouldn't do. His comments were there injustices. There have always been injustices. Me personally, I would probably go about it a different way. My question is, what happened last year? How come you didn't decide to do this last year or the year before that or the year before that? So I don't know, Colin, but again, to each his own. I don't really have a say on it, but I would never do that. My father was a military man, and, he protected his country. Uncles are in law enforcement. They go out and work hard every day. Just, other ways to get your point across.
So you're an African American. And a lot of people feel as though, from your perspective, you should be standing with Colin Kaepernick, but you also are pro-military and pro-cop. Can you be both?
Yes, I can be both. Again, my thing is, you have to enter onto the scene one way. People like Muhammad Ali and Bill Russell, they were one way their whole career. You can't show us something and then go to another just because of, certain issues. Again, I'm aware of all the issues, but, my question is, how come you didn't do it last year? Or how come you didn't do it when you first entered the NFL? Again, I don't know, Colin, to each his own, he has his, it's his, constitutional right to do that, but I would never do that.
All right, so you guys just saw what Shaq had to say, and a lot of folks are real upset about this. Now, also, on top of Shaq saying what he said, they also decided to interview Steph Curry. Steph Curry sat down with CNBC's Sarah Easton to talk about the controversy surrounding Kaepernick. I want you guys to go ahead and see what Steph Curry had to say. Check this out, and I'm going to come back with the rest of my commentary.
Do you have an opinion on Colin Kaepernick, whose jerseys are sold out now across America because people are supporting him?
I love that. I love that there's freedom of speech and he can stand for what he believes in. There's going to be people that disagree with him. There's going to be people that agree with him, which is what I think our country stands for, which hopefully will drive the conversation to bettering the equal rights and treatment of African Americans and people of color. So I applaud him for taking a stand, and hopefully the conversation is about what his message was and not the fact that is he going to stand or is he going to sit for the national anthem or whoever it is. The conversation be started and continue. I will also add the fact that he's putting his money where his mouth is and donating what he said $1 million to finding ways to better or to make his message a reality. I hope that all resources and conversations and intellect across the country will be able to figure out a way to make that $1 million as powerful as it can be, which is he's on the right track.
Hey CNBC fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Here you're going to find videos packed with all of the information that you need to be smarter about your finances. You can subscribe by clicking right here and click on all the videos around me or the eye right here to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.
All right, so you guys just saw what Steph Curry had to say, and Steph Curry is basically siding with Kaepernick. He's saying that he loves that he can stand for what he believes in. Okay, so now if that's not bad enough with Shaquille O'Neal having something to say, Steph Curry having Kaepernick's back. Now, as of a few hours ago, Ray Lewis has also chimed into the Colin Kaepernick situation. And Ray Lewis, to me, does not have a lot of room to talk about anybody's character or what they should or shouldn't be doing. He's currently trending on Twitter, and folks are going in on him, dragging him up and down the timeline. I want you guys to go ahead and check out this video, and I'm going to come back with the rest of my commentary.
My only advice to Colin Kaepernick is this. Listen, I understand what you're trying to do, but understand, take the flag out of it.
Right.
Right? I had uncles, I got brothers who walked out of my house going into the military that said, I will never see you again. To understand that, I will always respect that part of what our patriotism should be. Right? And that's the side that I think if Colin really just steps back, because to effect change, right? To effect true change and what he's trying to say, if you don't have a real solution, if you ain't seen as a true activist, to go into these hoods and do these things on a daily basis and not just jump up and just protest off this one thing because you're sick of it. We've been sick of racism for 400 plus years.
Right, so you guys just saw that video. And I love how Ray Lewis is so serious about the military and people putting their lives on the line and, you know, his cousins possibly not coming back from the war. Well, where was all this compassion and, you know, tears and all this, you know, angst for the 2 people that were killed outside of that Atlanta nightclub that you lied to the police about and said that you weren't there and you watched everything go down? You know, you were given a second chance. You were able to go to the NFL and live your dreams. Let Kaepernick do him. I'm so tired of folks coming out the woodwork just to throw shade, just to talk mess. I feel like now it's starting to look like jealousy. You know what I'm saying? Because now what Kaepernick is doing, especially with him being biracial, not even full black, it's shining a light on a lot of these other black athletes who are making millions of dollars, but who sit by silent. Kaepernick has said several times this is not about the military. He supports the military, and a lot of military families support Kaepernick. So I feel like at this point in time, Ray Lewis was just grasping for straws just to throw some shade at Kaepernick. You know, I find it funny that the guys with the most melanin are the ones acting like the scaredest to say the truth or to say how they really feel, like they're so busy walking on eggshells. But the guys who are light, bright, damn near white, racially ambiguous, have the heart of a champion. It's like between Jesse Williams, Colin Kaepernick, Steph Curry, you know, it's just, the shit is just amazing to me. First of all, kudos to Steph Curry for just being real, you know, and just saying, you know what, Colin has a right to feel how he wants to feel. If he wants to stand for the national anthem, he has the freedom to do that. And if he doesn't want to, he has the freedom to do that. This is why we're here in America. This is, you know, that's part of being an American. You have the freedom to do certain things. There's no national rule that you have to stand for the national anthem. My thing is this. Shaq had said that, you know, he'd respect Colin had he come into the industry, had he came into the NFL, you know, being pro-black and, you know, having a stance like Muhammad Ali. You know, but that kind of bothers me with him saying that because he acts like people are not allowed to grow and evolve. You know, when Shaq first came into the industry, this fool thought he was a rapper on top of a basketball player. You know, he had that song, "What's Up, Doc? Can You Rock?" You know, I remember him rapping and shit when I was like in 5th and 6th grade. And then once he realized that, you know, rapping wasn't for him and nobody took him seriously, then he more or less focused on his game. You know, people have the right to change. People evolve every day. I can't tell you how many things I learn on a daily basis. And I had a certain way of doing things. I had certain opinions about certain things. But as I got to know other people from different walks of life and, you know, find out other people's situations and like kind of just open myself more, you know, I've seen myself growing and evolving. We grow and evolve every day. So just because he didn't start in the NFL with the black power fist and an afro doesn't mean that he just hasn't fallen into consciousness. Consciousness comes to people at different times in their life when they're ready. Yes, you can go back to Kaepernick's, you know, original Instagram posters and see him posting in front of Ferraris and bragging about banging bad bitches and, you know, just doing all types of, you know, hood booger shit. But he's grown a lot and he seems to me to be very, very sincere. And I'm proud of him. I'm proud that he's taken a stance. I'm proud that he's not afraid to speak about certain issues and he's not bearing his head in the stand. You know, he inspired me to just even keep doing what it is I do, because it's very easy to be silenced. And especially when it comes to your finance and your livelihood, it's very easy to be silenced. It's very easy to just be like, you know what, I'm just going to stick to this because it's safe. I'm guaranteed my money. But he's realizing that he's made enough money hand over fist. So what does he have to lose? So So I respect him for that, because you have celebrities out here who are rich beyond belief. It doesn't matter if they take a stance or not. They're so rich, it's not going to affect them, and they still choose to straddle the fence. They still choose not to have a real opinion. And I think it's really sad, because at the end of the day, you have to be a man or a woman first and foremost. You know, and I understand that, you know, Shaquille O'Neal is a part-time cop down there in Florida, and he does a lot of stuff with the police, and he's very involved in the community. I would never take that from Shaquille O'Neal. You know what I'm saying? He's one of my favorite basketball players. You know, I've always had a lot of respect for him. I just don't agree with him in this particular stance. And I feel like, too, that Shaquille, Steph Curry, and all these celebrities need to also realize that the news media is using them to generate news, to generate topics, and they're trying to pit them against each other. You know what I'm saying? If they can say that Shaquille O'Neal is a good guy and he's sticking up for the police and the military, they're going to use that against Kaepernick. So I think, for me personally, all of these athletes should either stay away from the topic and say, you know what, I don't have nothing to say, because at the end of the day, they're just going to use whatever they say against that man. You know what I mean? I bet you anything, a lot of news stories are not going to be running with what Steph Curry said. They're not going to be blasting it all through the mainstream media, but you will definitely see what Shaq said about Kaepernick on Fox News, CNN, MSNBC. That's going to be the main talk, because it's a dissenting opinion about Kaepernick. So they're going to make sure to promote that really, really heavy. Mark my words. So now in other Kaepernick news, I want to also say, you know, kudos to him. His jerseys are now the #1 selling jerseys in the NFL. You know, I showed you guys in that video that I did last week where people were burning his jerseys and saying that he doesn't deserve to be a player. He should be fired. And people went out in droves to support him. I, too, am going to be doing the same thing. I'm going to be buying some Kaepernick jerseys for both of my boys. You know, so we got to support people, you know, when they step out their comfort zone. We have to show them financial support. We have to show them financial backing. But the cool thing about Kaepernick is that literally he took to Instagram yesterday. He was so surprised about everything, all of the money coming in from these jersey sales, that he took to Instagram, and this is what he had to say to everybody. Kaepernick says, "I want to thank everyone who has shown me love and support. It truly means a lot. I wasn't expecting my jersey sales to jump up to #1 because of this, but it shows that the people's belief that we can achieve justice and equality for all. The only way I can repay you for the support is to return the favor by donating all the proceeds I receive from my jersey sales back into the communities. I believe in the people, and we can be the change." So, you know, even more respect for this man, because he could have took them jersey sales and been like, oh shit, thank you. Whew. Because you know my damn NFL money was being affected, even though I'm worth, you know, millions and millions of dollars. But he didn't do that. He said, you know what, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm straight. My NFL money is still there. And even if it wasn't, I'm straight, because I've invested my money. Everything will be donated back into the community. So much respect for him for not only taking a stance, but also putting his money where his mouth is. These are the type of men that I consider heroes, because they're standing up for something. They're standing up for what they believe in, and they're not making any apologies for that. So kudos to Kaepernick. And shame on you for allowing the news media to use you, Shaq, okay? And kudos to Steph Curry for also having Kaepernick's back. So anyways, y'all, let's go ahead and get the discussion popping. Go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this entire situation. So let's go ahead and get the discussion popping. Go ahead and leave a comment. All right, deuces. Hey, you guys, it's your girl T. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share my videos. You can also visit Lovelyti.com to purchase any merchandise. Also, don't forget to click the boxes down below to watch any of my previous videos. Talk to y'all later. Deuces.